Back to President-elect Donald Trump. He's been meeting with several possible cabinet candidates over the weekend in New Jersey. There is one big similarity between all of them, and that is they're all white men. David Webb is here. What do you
Not
make
a
of
white
this?
man.
No, you're not a white man, that's for sure. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, is there a requirement? I understand the need for representation. You want to represent the population, be the president of everyone. But that doesn't require that you have a percentage breakout. By the way, Dr. Ben Carson, one of the first people to say no, he was likely to get a request, an appointment or something, or a nomination. You've got Michelle Rhee being considered for education. Remember her when Obama canceled school choice with the swipe of a pen? She fought back. She happens to be Asian. You've got Peter Thiel, gay, outwardly gay CEO, a Silicon Valley guy for Trump. There are others that are black being considered, women being considered, but it's not a requirement. But what's needed are solutions. If he delivers that, then all communities, minority quotes or not, are going to do well.
But the left will say, if that's not an inclusive cabinet with all different minorities and genders and everybody else all represented, then it's somehow racist, it's not inclusive, it's bad. That's what they will say.
Who made the definition of inclusive that you have to have some proportional representation of everybody?
Obama.
Blacks are 12% of the population. Okay, Trump's got to have 12% blacks. Women are this percent of the population. They've got to be this percentage women. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's also pejorative if you say that this largely white male cabinet is no good because it's largely all white male. That's pejorative.
Can you speak to different issues in business without having a particular affinity or really expertise in that, and you have a lot of expertise? You do your job. You research it, you do it. Why can't someone, because of the color of their skin, look into issues, address it, and deal with it? This is a ridiculous premise being put out by the left that Obama's driven based on race. Again, look at the percentages of Americans. I think it was at 17% Hispanic. Does that mean he needs to have 17% Hispanics in his cabinet? It's ridiculous.
Okay, I want your reaction to which has really troubled me. That's the American Music Awards awards ceremony last night. There was a direct and frequent attack on the president-elect, on the First Lady, and the First Family. Roll tape.
I love my husband, President Barack Obama, and our children, Sacha and Malia.
There was a lot more of it, which we're not going to show our audience. I was frankly outraged at it. What's your reaction?
No, for one thing, she's not as attractive as Melania Trump.
Well,
it's not a bad accent to do it. Look, the AMAs are down 600,000 viewers overall from last year.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that. So the number of viewers last night was down 600,000
from the previous year. That's being reported by Variety, so it's not a right-wing talking point. They need the press. You go after Trump, you get press.
Well, I was shocked at mocking Melania Trump like that.
Not at all. Look at Hamilton. Look at Pence. By the way, it's about being rude. It's not about having a conversation. What they are is they're rude. I was raised better, Stu. I know you are. I know Ashley and Emac. We've known each other a long time. Yeah. We wouldn't do that to President Obama. We talk about and we get passionate about issues, as Emac and I in the Tea Party movement. But at what point did you or I or anyone rational go out and do this kind of mockery?
Can I just give you the tweet from Brandon Victor Dixon?
Now, wait a second. He's the guy, he's a member of the Hamilton cast. Yes. He's the guy who wagged his finger at Vice President Trump.
Lectured him.
You've got a tweet from him some years ago?
Let me back up. He lectured. Basically, there has to be context here. He was giving a Broadway equities, AIDS for Equity speech, and they usually do that. And he doesn't like, and it has to be understandable, he doesn't like the conversion gay therapy or the gay marriage thing. Setting that aside, here's the tweet from this actor in 2012 March. St. Paddy's Day weekend is like Christmas for black dudes who like white chicks. Happy holidays, boys.
So that's what the guy from the cast of Hamilton, who'd lectured Mike Pence, that's what he said in a tweet way back when?
In March 2012.
March 2012.
Right.
Any comment?
Yes, very simply. the Sedition Act. Hamilton is leader of the Federalist Party, and the Federalist Party does the Alien and Sedition Acts. The Sedition Act would have had him charged had it been in place. It was reputed by the country and Congress when Jefferson was elected. Under the Sedition Act, you could not criticize government. 14 people were prosecuted. One Republican congressman was jailed for 5 months, $1,000 fine. It would have been $100,000 today, and was reelected while he was in jail. This guy doesn't even have the context of the play he's doing. Add Hamilton and the Federalists, a.k.a. Democrats, got in their way.
But this tweet is really bad.
I know,
I'm sorry,
but it
saying
shows
it's open
their hypocrisy.
season on white women. It's open season on white chicks on St. Patty's Day because
Emac,
really?
they have no moral compass, but they claim moral equivalence.
Yeah.
That's good, David. That's a very good line. I'm going to steal it right off.
Steal away.
Okay, thank you, David. Good stuff. And now this, an extraordinary story. The family of a fallen soldier travelling by plane to collect his remains, booed by fellow passengers. What's it all about?
Very, very hard story to tell. The person on the left-hand side of the screen there, 30-year-old Sergeant John Perry, was killed in Afghanistan protecting an airfield from a suicide bomber. He was one of 4 people killed, quite possibly saved the lives of hundreds by stopping this suicide bomber. So the family traveled from Sacramento to Dover Air Force Base to meet his body when it was returned to the U.S. They had a stopover in Phoenix, had to try and make a connection. The pilot of the plane said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please stay seated and allow this military personnel family, special family, to get off to make their connection." They got up and were booed and hissed because these people wanted to get off the plane. The father said it was particularly bad in first class, who exhibited disgusting behavior. Members of the family, of the Perry family, began crying. This was a horrible situation.
Did the passengers know, the people who booed, did they know that the family had to get off the plane fast? They were going to pick up the body of their son?
They were called a special military family that were trying to make a connection. They weren't given the whole story.
So your point is that they were booing the military.
Well, right here. So who among us that has a conscience or moral compass would boo any family trying to get off to, they're bereaved, they're trying to get to the funeral, someone is dying? Who would do that to anyone? Then you add the fact that he's right, did say a military family. Who are they booing? They're booing the military. Those people booing are anti-military.
That's right.
And it's disgraceful and shameful because they get the right to boo because these men and women stand on a wall against our enemies.
Even the flight crew was disgusted by it.
Really?
And all Americans should be disgusted.
And the father said it made us cry even more when they heard that.
I'll say it again. Thank you, David Webb. Good stuff.